Alright guys, this is a follow-up video to the 1,500 euros expense that I had on Sarel, and I want to talk about it with all of you because I think I finally got the thing I was trying to understand while I was talking about it. The footage is from Ashekos, but it stands for any strategy gacha game out there, including of course Sarel. So, what's the discovery? What changed my perspective so much? The reason why I've been playing gacha games so far, I thought it was the story and character design. So the aesthetics and narrative, which are all around, are things that pertain to art. That is the reason why I thought I was playing gacha games. I started playing gacha games with Genshin Impact when I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV when it came out. And the reasons why I played that was the design, the idea of collecting characters, the new adventure, the RPG that was completely unknown to me in that model, and everything else, like the limited resources I had to handle, because of course I didn't want to spend much money on the game. But even when I started and I was just at Dragon Spines a little bit after the launch of the game, I decided to spend money, and that was the first time I spent a lot of money and felt the hype for it. And then I tried many other gacha games. So many actually. I think I played all the major ones at this point. And I played more and more. And I completely lost the reason why I was doing that. Turns out it wasn't for the story. Of course, I enjoy the good stories. I write stories myself, but in the end, was it really the reason why I was playing all the games? I realized I have been playing stories as something that I had to do in games. This applies specifically to Honkai Star Rail. I am not saying that Honkai Star Rail's story is bad. It is actually good. The problem is my reason why I was playing the game was not the story. That was something I enjoyed from time to time, like a single-player RPG game. The optimization on the character, damage, resources, etc. The reason why I was playing the game, it wasn't for the story, that was another lie. The reason was trying to optimize the teams. Yeah, I like creating builds. I like studying builds, optimizing them. I always liked card games for the same reason. A deck is a build, and you try to make it as good as possible, and then use it against an opponent or the CPU, it doesn't matter. I really like this since I was very young, so it's not a surprise. Therefore, this is what made me want to do all of that. But as a person, I am someone that wants much more for my life. I want social interaction. I want to discover nice art. Design. I like the designer part of me that wants me to see new interfaces. For instance, on the event you see on my back, I really like the idea that they changed the interface specifically for this event. But as you can see from the footage, I wasn't reading the story. I was just skimming through it, trying to understand the minimum amount possible. It wasn't about the story. It was about progressing with the game and making the characters stronger. But making the characters stronger is not making me grow up as a person. It's a basic need. It feels almost physical to see big numbers and be happy that those are my numbers compared to other numbers. This is the moment in which I understood I can't really deal with it in a healthy way. And it's not about me. I think it's kind of a human thing. We want to see things work very well. And in a game where you can spend money to make it even better, that's kinda dangerous. So therefore, every time this happened, I told myself, but I don't care, I can still play for the story. The problem is the impulse to make the numbers go bigger is naturally stronger than focusing on art and story. At the very least for me. This makes playing strategy games that are based on in-app purchases of any kind extremely dangerous for people that want to optimize their game. I think there are many ways to play management games. For instance, roguelites or digital card games that don't make you spend money to get the cards. that do the same thing for much less money and resources in general, even time. So I could even develop one myself that doesn't really rely on money, and I could spend my time optimizing my own game, like playing it and trying to optimize my own builds, which is kinda funny, but it's also kinda true. If I like the pool mechanism, which is another thing I got addicted to with time, I can make one myself and play my own gacha game that is limited in time if I like handling resources. The reason why I spent money is that it was the cheat. And as a person, I honestly love secret ways that bring you to the result. A cheat can be lateral thinking. If you watched Hunter x Hunter, you know what I'm talking about. So all the first arc is based on lateral thinking and other ways to solve problems. For me, spending money was kind of lateral thinking. Like, I want to solve the problem of having big numbers. You know what? I will spend money. It's the easiest way. I work, I don't care. And this kind of game, where I can spend money to make builds stronger, is not being healthy for me. I started this kind of game with Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and I loved it. At the same time, I connected with the characters, enjoyed the game. There was nothing to spend, just strategy, and that was enough for me to be engaging. These kind of games where I can use either my time, money, or dedication, long-term dedication to create strong builds with time-limited things. I want to stress out this. You need to be there all the time. I want to play games for stories and characters, and I want games that are there to serve me, not games in which I am there to serve them and spend money in them because I feel compelled by an optimization need that is completely artificial. I love optimization. I don't want to give up on this. I don't want it to lead my life though. My needs are many more. I love design, I love art, I love love itself, relationship with others, and many things that have been starving because I kept trying to optimize as many games as possible in the shortest, easiest way as possible, which was spending money. And this culminated into spending 1,500 euros in a single game, in a single night, which, if you think about it, is kind of out of my mind. But it's a small price to understand that this was something that doesn't make any sense for my growth and for my future and for what I want in the future. The reason why I kept going back is that I felt it was a money problem. I felt, yes, I don't want games where I spend a lot, but in the end, I love them. Now I understand I love optimization, and I can achieve that in any game that allows me to do that without spending. There are not many games that are based on characters that you can optimize in and collect characters, collect builds, do the same that you do in gacha games. But I think this can be a frontier for the future. So I call out to you, game developers, that's something that has not been explored, and it can be interesting even if it's not as profitable. And the reason why it is that it would be a new frontier that is not explored. If you are not going to explore that frontier, mind my words, I'll be the pioneer. And I will make people experience what it means to play games without the need of time is running out or I need to spend my money to avoid this to happen. I want players to be happy about the games they play, not trying to strategize with limited time, resources, and money. Time, freedom, and money that are irreplaceable. Your time is valuable as much as mine, and it's irreplaceable. If you think about money and you think, you know what, but money is not time. Unless you're born rich, money comes from you using time. So in a way, it's just a conversion in time. Maybe you have a better conversion than mine. I have a very good money to time conversion. I don't like doing jobs that have a bad ratio, like take 11 hours out of me for just a small amount. Sometimes you can't choose. You need to work to get the money you need, and it's commendable. It's awesome, honestly, because it means you're fighting for something that allows you to have a better life. And you have my congratulations, you're probably much stronger than me. And also I'm very lucky. The idea I'm spending my resources in something that is a game that I can actually make myself. Not for the story or the design, which are most of the times great actually, but for just optimizing the numbers is insane, and I call it quits. So I will still play games so much you can't ever imagine. I mean, I want to become a game designer, so in a way I will be playing games for obviously reason. I want to learn, I want to explore new worlds, and it's what I love creating, making happen. But I will focus on games in which the experience of playing is good and not the number optimization based on the time and money you invest. Even Zelda Zone Zero is fine, considering you have all the characters for free and the endgame is kind of optional and I don't feel forced to play it. I still love characters, I will play games that want me to get characters, but I will not ever more play games that ask me to play for the number optimization with that focus in mind. So as you can see in the background we have Ash Echoes, that's not a game I will still play. I won't play Star Rail either. Sorry for people that are here for Star Rail, but I realized the game is about the optimizations of the team. So I may want to play it for the story, but it's not something I would bring to the channel for obvious reason. It would be a spoiler. So that will not be something I will continue doing. I will talk about design, characters, and how I love interacting with them. So potentially Zelda Zone Zero and other games that are focused on gameplay are an option. I don't want to quit all gacha games just because. I want to quit games that are not bringing me what I want. And those are games that are based on resource loops. I will develop games that are based on resource loops, but I will make them time independent so that you can play them anytime. I don't think being time dependent is something that makes a game better. It's instead something that makes you have to play the game. And honestly, that's kinda cheap. And it's not something, as a game designer, I would like to ever see in my game. So this is my testament about how I want to change my experience and focus on what really matters to me, both from a instinctual point of view and from a value point of view, things that I want to find out in life and I want to be happy about. Thank you for being with me. Let me know your opinions, your experiences, and let me know if you're gonna stick with me, even with those extremely big changes.